So we're getting ready to go here. It's February 3rd, I believe. Still got 5 acres of corn left and then we're done. So I'm gonna go see if I can shell that out today. Combine's running, gotta pull the tarp off the grain bin, grain tank, whatever. 856 is running, I gotta pull the tarp off this. Just changed the hydraulic filter out in it. The last couple times I ran it, the brake and steering were a bear to run, so pulled the filter out. There's all kinds of slime and whatnot all over it. So there's water in the oil. I gotta drain that out at some point. So, but we'll get going in a little bit here. So this is the first time I've been up in the field in probably a month or so. Just seems like we've gotten snow or rain or a combination of the two every weekend. And the one weekend we didn't, my combine was down and that was when I was putting the sieves in it. So, but this looks, obviously there's a lot of wind damage. It's not nearly as bad as last year. We had a hell of a storm roll through and knocked the entire field down. I'd say probably 75% of this is still standing. So, and then I'll try and pick up what I can off the ground. But this does look real dry. This is a silage variety corn. So it holds its moisture longer than like a grain variety. So I got the tractor and gravity wagon down here now. I got to walk back up to the farm because I'm by myself and grab the combine. When I do that, I'll have the moisture checker and I'll get a decent idea of what this field is. Hopefully, I'm thinking it's so late in the season, I'm hoping for 18, 19, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll be lower than that. So I got a couple of good ears. The right way to moisture check something, a field, is to grab probably 4 or 5 ears throughout the field so you get a good idea of like an average. I just kind of went and grabbed them right here just because didn't feel like walking all the way around. But shell the corn out. By hand into this little cup here. This is a old Dickie John grain tester, moisture checker, but Case IH branded, oldie. Cold out here today. So turn it on, pull it slowly. Not enough. Oh, showing 15, 17%. Try that one more time. Do the other ear too. That showed me 14, so that went 14.5 and jumped to 16.4, but that's still awesome. Try this ear right here. I figured it was low because I was out here, forgot what day it was, but I sold, some guys came by and wanted corn, not dried, right out of the field. And they took like 3 pickup truckloads. And I ended up moisture checking that, and it was like 18, and that was a month ago. Struggling trying to shell this out with my hand. So try this again. Thing's kind of finicky if you don't have like a full cup. Doesn't like doing it. Oh, 17.2. 17.8. So that's good news. It's pretty dry, and I think, like I said, I got 2 guys coming to get undried corn today. One guy will be here in about an hour, so I should probably get moving. But whatever they don't take, I'll get that gravity wagon full up, and I bet you probably by next week with the 2 grain aeration fans in there and that fan setup I got on the floor, it'll probably dry it down to damn close to 15%, and then we'll be in business. I got probably 5 acres here, roughly. This is a 7-acre field. This is all I got left, so roughly 5 acres left, so hopefully I can bang this out today. At least fill that wagon. It's probably about all I can do, because to finish drying, I gotta auger it from that wagon to the other one, and then put the fans back in there to get a good dry sample of grain. So I'm on my first pass here, and as you can see, it's a lot of this is down to this far corner here. When I was out here last time, this corner over here on the end was pretty much all down, so it tends to clog up in the head, so you gotta go slow to allow that feed through. But we are starting to bang slowly but surely here. And then of course, because this is a maze, you have the passes cut out. So there's some spots you're not getting a whole lot. It's kind of hard to try to stay in the row when you only have that one to go off of. If that's down, you kind of lose your position. Because there's so much corn down, usually what I'll do is I'll finish up, you know, when I get the end rows cut off, I'll go up the middle and split the difference. But you lose your way pretty quickly when you can't see the rows. I mean, there's a big, I did that last time I went through here and I messed that all up, so I'm just gonna have to go right down the make a couple long passes down the side of the field here. But we'll get there. So the new sieve seemed to be working pretty well. I don't have any trash going into the tank. Combine's cleaning the cobs down real well. I walk back over here. Some cracked kernels on the ground. Nothing too crazy. Some is that. I don't know what's up with that, but it looks good, so that's good news. Combine's running well. That's all I can ask for out of the old girl. So we'll keep trucking. Just making room in here. It was piling up and coming up over the top. We'll be getting cob corn pretty soon. So adjusted the sieves a little bit because I did have a little bit more trash than I would have liked to see for new sieves. So adjusted that back a little more, and it looks pretty good now. So I'll probably do one more pass, I'd say, and then we're going to dump it into the wagon. Keep going. Pull up to our gravity wagon here. Away we go. When I first got this thing, the chain was so slopped out for the unload auger that if you ran it any higher than an idle, it would just throw the chain off, and then you had to go under the combine and hook that all back up. It was a nightmare. So I'm glad I got that fixed, because there's nothing worse than you got a full hopper load and can't unload it, and then you're shoveling it by hand. Luckily, never got to that point. I got it fixed, but I would imagine if that was the case, that'd be a bad day. it tested 17%. He didn't want to wait for dry corn, so he's going to take it as is. So he's got the Tundra over here, the dump trailer, so I'm going to load right in the back of the trailer for him. Wanted about a yard. I sell by the yard. It's easier when you're loading the buckets. So I'm going to give him a little more just because it is it's just easier to do it this way. I'd rather take the hit on the corn than have it unload into a bucket and load him up. It's going to be faster to unload right in the combine, or from the combine. We're back at it. We're getting into some pretty thick down corn. Had to back up, go again a few times now. Clogs up in the head, and then you're just knocking stalks over and you're not really feeding anything through the head, so you gotta like back up, go back again, obviously. Kind of splitting the field right now. I'm trying to come out right on the right side of that bridge right there. Yeah, see, this is all down right here. See if it'll feed, slow it down a little bit. Isn't too bad. There's a little bit over there too, but for the most part, this field's standing pretty well. Like I said, we had a couple of good storms roll through. One of them we had like 70-mile-an-hour winds overnight, and I definitely thought this was all getting knocked down like last year, but held up pretty well. So all things considering. Always that far right side right there. It always gets clogged up every time. Got to anytime you roll by this bridge, you got to be careful because put stakes in the ground, keep that bridge upright in wind, and some tape right there. Whenever the corn falls down in the maze, we'll put caution tape up so you don't go off the path. So we're gonna go and grab that real quick so I don't put that through the combine. Yeah, we got two of these bridges here, so when you're in the maze, you can climb up the bridge, see where you're at. Always a good time trying to move those when we go to plant the corn again. One of those projects, it's all hands on deck. Moving those bridges. We'll bring skid steering on one side and backhoe on the other, and you pick up both ends of the bridge. We'll move them to off the field so we can plant, and then once the ground is planted and the corn starts coming up, we'll bring everyone back and make sure that spout clears. Bring everyone back, we'll put the bridge back in the field. It's actually pretty wild how they cut the maze in when the corn's only like a couple inches tall. Guy comes out with a GPS unit, a backpack sprayer, and he just walks and follows the GPS, and then he cuts the design in pretty wild. This year here, the owner of the farm, Louis Escobar, passed last year, 84, and the maze this year was a picture we took on 4th of July a number of years back. It was him. It was a good side picture of him, so we used that picture. The reason 4th of July is kind of synonymous, I guess. Back in like 2000, 2001, the dairy barn caught fire, burnt to the ground, and the town came together, gave us a generous donation. All the the people living in town, the town itself, I believe, we were able to rebuild the barn. And so as a thank you to the town, we put out a big fireworks display every 4th of July. And pretty much the entire town shows up to it. It's a big deal. So Louis would dress up in Uncle Sam costume every year. So that's what he was in the picture. And that's what the maze, what the design was this year for the maze. So this pass here is looking pretty good. We'll keep going. So we're unloading into the wagon second time here. I only got a half hopper load, but heard something knocking around. I shut it down real quick, and the feed house drive chain popped off the sprocket. And so I'm going to unload into the wagon, and then I'll run back to my truck. I got all my tools back there at the farm. So I'll pop that shield off, put the chain back on, see how sloppy or not. I don't have, might have something in the barn, but I don't think I have a grinder. I can cut that link down if I have to, if there's too much slop in it. Put a new master link in or anything like that. So I'll just see if I can pop it back on and maybe adjust the tensioner on it, and then we'll probably be back in the field shortly. So see how that goes. But the wagon's getting full anyway. I got a little bit of room in the back. So even if I get it running today, next hour or so, probably won't be harvesting too much longer because I can only fill up this wagon, and I'm short on bin space. So this wagon gets full, it gets dried in there. Then once it's dry, I'll auger it into the green wagon and continue to let it dry in there. So really, I can only go until this wagon's full. Kind of a crappy setup, but that's how I'm running it right now until I get the drain bins. So we're back at the farm. This shield right here just pops right off. This was hanging down, totally off the sprocket. So everything looks all right. This here got a little chewed up, but it's not bad. I'm just gonna run it. I'm not sure. There's two different sprockets it looks like you can run this on, and I'm not sure where this was. Looking at the wear in this, and obviously the wear in the sprocket here too. I mean, this one here is covered in dust. I don't think it was on that one, so I'm pretty sure it was stuck on this one. I don't know if that's like a that's how to adjust the speed for the header, or for maybe the feed chain rather. Or no, I guess that would be the header. So maybe depending on how fast or slow you want it, you adjust, what sprocket you're running. I have the owner's manual for it, and the tech manual. I just don't have it here, so I can't check on that. But we're going to adjust the idler up there, and I guess you can adjust this here as well. So I might do all that, and then we'll see how that looks when I'm done with it. So I got the chain back on. I adjusted as much as I could, but I think this chain is just so slopped out. I mean, it's just gonna pop right back off. I don't think I have a grinder here. I ran down to the barn and looked at it. I really got to take a couple links out of this, or just get a new chain. But so I think what I'm gonna do for right now, that wagon's pretty close to full anyway. So I think I might get this to where I can run the head, or the feed house rather, and get all this run through the combine just to get it cleaned out, unload what's left into the wagon, and then maybe come back tomorrow and throw the new chain on it. Get a new chain, I should say, and slap that on there, and then we'll be in good shape for next weekend. So, like I said, unfortunately, I can only run as far as I can only run as long as I have a space in that wagon, and I'm pretty close to it. So, I think I'm gonna, instead of trying to just slap this together, I'll get a new chain for it, and then have her going for next weekend. So, cause I have stuff going on tomorrow on Sunday, and I work a full-time job off the farm, so this is really just a weekend gig. So, but yeah, we'll run this through and go grab the wagon. So, long walk back to the tractor. Cutting through the hayfield right now. Somebody out there with the skid steer fixing the road out to the north side pasture. But we just seeded all this in this year. There was some state grant, I guess, to reestablish hayfields. So we had someone come out and they drilled, I don't know what they drilled in, Timothy and Orchard or something like that, in the hayfields. So it'll be looking good for next year, I'm sure. But tractor's way down there. And I brought the jump pack because the tractor's been starting hard lately, and I don't want to walk all the way down there and then that battery doesn't have enough juice to kick it over. Brand new battery, but I don't know, it's probably a bad battery cable or something. Just haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. So we'll get there. But it's probably a good time to call it anyway. Like I said, that wagon was getting full. And I got to do some work for the farmer here. Their 5088 is acting up. So I am their on-call mechanic for the farm. So wanted to get some of that field done. Like I said, I hadn't touched it in probably a month. So I'm glad I got most of it off. It's probably maybe a quarter left of that field. So next weekend when I come back down, probably finish it off, assuming I can sell what I got, swap everything over in the other bin, and then run everything I got left into that one there, into the red bin. So, in an ideal situation, then we'll be done with 2023 corn in 2024. But we're right about where we were last year. I think I was shelling corn out last year till like middle of February. Luckily we didn't get the cold last year that we did this year. It's been pretty frigid this year, but that's how it is in the Northeast, I guess. Anyway, nice day today at least. So I didn't bother recording this part because topping the load you really need two hands. But I got two B&W 128 grain aeration fans in here. They're opposite sides of the bin to load it or to dry it evenly. They do a pretty good job. The only thing that kind of sucks about this setup really is that as it sucks the moisture out of the corn, it kind of collects on the inside of the tarp here, and then hasn't happened yet, but I'm afraid of it falling back down onto the corn. But I only leave it in here for like a week before I auger it out into the other wagon, where it dries again. I move these two fans back into that other wagon. So this is how I dry the corn down. It is a very slow process. I did just buy a batch dryer. It's up at my house right now. It's going to be this spring's project, getting that up and running so that I don't have to do any of this stuff. But yeah, we're in business now. I just got to go plug them in, and we'll get drying. So I lost some of the last footage I had over at the farm. So I figured I'd make a quick shot of this. This is the my newest treasure. It's a Toxiwick 370 grain dryer. Probably not going to use it this year. Got to go through it. The biggest thing right there, the guy I bought it off of was towing it home. He moved it 100 miles from western PA to central PA. Cut a low-hanging guide wire and destroyed the mesh in the ladder. So I got a plan to fix all that as best as I can. It works good. It looks rough, but everything works as it should. The propane though is, we're I'm not sure about the propane. He never used it because he has a continuous flow dryer at his place. He bought this at an auction. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the propane. But this is great because I'm going to be able to dry everything in batches, which is basically what I do now, but it's going to be way more efficient. And I won't have to wait 2 weeks to get a dry grain. So I towed it 370 something miles from basically just north of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to my place in eastern Connecticut. Did lose a wheel bearing on 95. That was fun. Was able to get that put back together. But yeah, she's a gem. I got all the manuals for it and everything else. Like I said, everything runs great on it. It's real smooth. So this is going to be a big upgrade for me. Did not pay much. Paid $500 for it. So even if I got to put some money into it, I think it's going to work out pretty well. I'll do a more in-depth video of this thing once I get it. Well, probably do a video series of fixing it up. And then, of course, when we get it down to the farm, figure out how we're going to set the propane up, because I have ground out this way that I will be using it on, as well as the ground down in Rhode Island there. So it's going to get some miles going back and forth, but I need a portable propane setup. So this runs off liquid propane, so we had talked about possibly doing something with like forklift propane tanks, because those are all liquid. But then of course you need a couple of those, because when guys are running this, they're running 1,000-gallon tanks, 500-gallon tanks, you know. So obviously we're going to blow through that pretty quickly. So we're going to figure something out. I'm also thinking about just putting a, I don't know, 200-gallon tank or something on a trailer, and then being able to move this and that at the same time. So I don't know. I got a guy I know that works for a propane company, is a technician for them, so he's going to brainstorm some ideas with me, and we'll go from there, figure out what we're going to do. But that's the plan. So catch you on the next one.